Sometimes when we're feeling depressed and anxious, we want to find a quick way to get out of that anxiousness and depression. We don't want to suffer. But sometimes it's simple as figuring out what the deeper meaning of the suffering is trying to tell us. A lot of times we want to treat the symptom of the suffering when really we need to look deeper. We need to look into what it is that we're really suffering about. You may have to go 2 or 3 levels deep to find out what the root cause of that suffering is. Sometimes we've been anxious so long that the body starts to depress, and then we have depression. Maybe it's that you've allowed some people in your life now to mistreat you, that you walk on eggshells, that you people please. But when you look back over the course of your existence, you find that you've been people pleasing a long time. Now, that could come from never feeling like enough. Maybe you had parents that were never satisfied or happy with what you did. Maybe it's that some of them got angry or violent, so you scurried about trying to please or appease those people. Now we're getting 3 layers deep. So the source of a person's anxiousness at that point has to do with safety. The person wants to feel safe, and to feel safe, they people please. Long after the danger is gone, in adulthood, then they're still scurrying about, afraid that if they disappoint somebody or somebody's angry with them, that something really bad is about to happen. Now you're addressing the root cause of your suffering, your anxiousness, which has led to being depressed. So in this particular case, learn about assertiveness. Learn about ways that you can step into your own personal power. Learn about boundaries. Start talking to the more primitive parts of your brain. Your frontal lobes need to have a conversation with your middle brain and say, I'm safe now. I don't need to people please anymore. I'm safe now to be the person I want to be. And it may be the opposite problem. You're so hyper aware of the people around you, and anytime they step on your toes, even remotely, even by accident, you're hyper aware and sensitive to that, so you just cut everybody out of your lives. And that makes you anxious too, and it can make you depressed, because human beings need other human beings to exist. We're mammals, we're herd creatures. So sometimes you'll see people please, and sometimes you'll see people shove other people away. And a lot of times, the root cause of that suffering is because somewhere along the line, they overcorrected for a problem. And at the time that they overcorrected for it, it was necessary. It helped them survive. It helped them overcome some things. The problem is that thing that used to serve you well is no longer serving you well. Now it's actually working against a person. So, remember, sometimes it's not as simple as taking a pill. Sometimes we can't just treat the symptom of depression and anxiety. Sometimes we need to look 3 levels deep. Now you can journal about this, you can go get some counseling, you can just sit and think about this stuff. But it's always good to use some good self-talk. Evaluate your boundaries. Are they rigid? Are you shoving everybody away? Are they enmeshed so you're people-pleasing all the time? Or are they balanced, flexible to firm to soft? In which case, that just requires assertive, healthy power, right? It's not passive or aggressive, it's balanced. And sometimes it's about good self-talk, saying, I'm okay as I am. I can't just cut everybody out of my life. I can't people please all the time. It's about saying, I'm safe now to be the person that I want to be, the core person that I was before I invented all this garbage to survive life. And remember, those things that used to work for you can now work against you. And when that happens, it's just as simple as finding new ways to be, finding new courses of action. Had a friend of mine tell me once, Steve, you can't always use the hammer. It's not a good idea to use a hammer to wash a window. Then you need Windex and paper towel. All I knew at that point in my life was to use the hammer. If I've never used a paper towel and Windex, I may need somebody to show me. I may need to do some research. But once I figure out a few other ways to wash a window, ones that don't involve smashing the window to pieces, well, now I can move on with life in a more fluid way. And as a result, a lot of times our depression and anxiety starts to lift because we're addressing the root cause of our suffering.